All right.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, welcome to MomCave Live this week. We have Tracey from Kickety Split.
Hello, everybody. How is everybody?
Good.
Tracey designs really high-quality activewear for children. We met at a cool Mom's Night Out event a little while back, hosted by Apple Tots for the Hudson Valley, and thought she would be a great guest. And she has a really good giveaway for you guys this week.
Ooh, tell me about it.
So, Kickety Split would love to give one lucky person a $50 gift card, good to use for purchase on any products that we sell on our website.
Yay! I love that. And we're going to show you all some of the cool clothes.
They're great products. My girls got.
I'm checking out the website.
Okay.
You're checking it out. So, Valisa, tell us.
My girls got a chance to model the clothes, and they loved them. They love how soft they are and how they're great for activewear. And they take gymnastics and ballet, and so they're always moving about. And this is the hoodie, their favorite, that they loved. They were fighting over this one.
Ooh, is that navy and pink?
Yep, navy and
pockets, and the stitching is really cool. And then the skeggings are their favorite as well.
That's a great idea for every little girl, so she doesn't show her stuff when she's being active.
It's a skirt and a legging all in one piece. I don't know about everybody else out there, but sometimes getting my kids dressed in the morning can be more like wrestling as opposed to dressing. So if it's one piece, it's so much easier to slide on and off. And then, like you said, it's perfect for school because it's dressy, but then when she goes to the playground, nothing is
hanging out.
Exactly.
Brilliant. And you can just put it on in one piece. We have some cute pictures to show you all. These are Valisa's girls modeling some of her awesome clothing. Can you guys see that?
I love that.
Oh, I saw. There we go. Oh, that's really cute.
So, yeah.
Lisa, do you have like the best looking kids in the world or what?
No, seriously. She really does.
Total models. Look at that. They know it too. They're total divas.
They know how to model. So, anyhow, that is our awesome giveaway for the week. But we wanted to talk a bit about this week's topic is starting a business with kids, which Tracey knows something about, and we all know something about lately.
I'd love to hear this.
Yeah. So, first of all, let's start out with embarrassing stories, because that's always good comedy fodder. Oh. Does anyone here have an embarrassing story about...
Segue.
A big way?
What a segue.
Yeah.
You mean just like an embarrassing story of the week or something?
No, about working, starting your business, and being a mama at the same time.
Oh, thank God. Okay. Embarrassing stories with starting a business and being a mom. Well, I wouldn't say I have an embarrassing story, but I just think that in general, and I know because I have my own business for a while with a production company, it's really hard when you have a child to concentrate on anything for any long period of time. Your memory goes like that. So it's, I think, to get an hour to work on something straight without getting interrupted is like golden. That's like,
it's like
that's embarrassing.
Yeah, I find I have to save any task that requires like intense focus. I have to save it to when my kid is asleep.
Definitely. Which is always a struggle because I don't know about you guys, but that's always the time of day where I'm like, how am I going to stay awake for another hour?
You're about to crash. And that's the best time to work. So, yeah. Now, so if you ever have a time where you really, really have to get something important done and your child is not asleep, do you guys have any tips of what you do?
I use the iPad.
Right.
I find a movie and put it on for them and say, can you stay here and watch this movie until Mommy gets this certain thing done? And they're like, yeah, sure, Mommy.
Because they're thrilled to watch the movie.
Exactly. The iPad is a babysitter.
Totally.
I'm totally with you. The iPad or Frozen.
Oh no! Yeah.
Yes, we use Time Warner Cable, and they have a Kids on Demand channel, and you can basically pick any show from Disney Junior or Nick Jr., and that seems to be our go-to. But that's a 25-minute window.
Right.
So it's always the key to get out there and start a second show.
Oh.
And then you spend the day feeling guilty about the fact that you put them in front of the television. But you know, something I've struggled with is, you know, I feel guilty putting my children in front of the television. I absolutely limit it. I don't let them watch more than 2 shows a day. But I feel like our society is putting a lot of pressure on moms these days to, like, invigorate, stimulate, sit with your children every single minute of every single day. And I think sometimes for them to play on their own for half an hour is actually very good for them to build their imagination and creativity and all that good stuff.
That's a skill they definitely need. And in our generation, I don't know about you guys, but our moms were not like with us every second on us, making sure we're stimulated. There was a lot of TV in my household.
I had a playpen, and my mom used to just plop me in there for hours at a time.
Yes.
I think I turned out okay.
Definitely. Yeah, my mom worked from home too, and when I had my son, she was like, "You need to get a playpen." And she was convinced that she could make him like the playpen. And, you know, so you'd put him in there and he'd just start screaming his head off. And my mom made it a mission. She came to New York City to make him like the playpen.
Did it work?
No!
Well, that was a waste of a trip.
Totally. Yeah, I feel guilty too because I really try to limit TV, but sometimes that becomes the only thing that will like hold their attention so that you can do something.
Right. And that's something I do is usually making me a better, more stimulated, more invigorated mommy. You know, whether it be brushing my teeth or.
Speaking of feeling guilty, I think a lot of times when women have careers or have jobs, a lot of the mom guilt comes into play when they're doing certain tasks that have to do with their job. Like for me, for instance, you know how I am a stunt woman. I got contacted yesterday for a job that would shoot tomorrow on Halloween, and it's a matching shot for November 10th. And I turned it down because I can't sacrifice Halloween and my kids and those memories to take a stunt job, which I would love to do. I want to work. Of course, I hate turning down work, but I don't know. I'm just thinking of what other moms would have done, and I feel like, I mean, it would have been all day during the peak Halloween hours when you take your kids to go trick-or-treating and then into the evening, so I turned it out.
Wow,
yeah, those are tough choices. But, yeah, having a child adds a whole new level to starting a business, because when you're starting a business, it's like it's your passion, it's what you're working on in all your spare time, but then you have this other thing that is infinitely more important than your business. And it sometimes makes me feel like it's hard to compete with other people who don't have children.
Right.
Yeah, you know, because I remember before I had children, I could stay up until 3 a.m. working on something, and now, you know, you can't do that. You have all these hours that you don't have now. For the best, but it makes you feel like, how can I ever compete?
Right.
I think one thing that's nice about having your own business is that at least I have more flexibility around, a little bit more flexibility around when the work can get done. I mean, sometimes a phone call comes in and it's about a production problem that's going to delay production, and I have to take that call immediately. And I definitely hear it from my daughter, "Mommy, you're always on your phone." And that, of course, she probably says it for this reason, but it like rips at my heartstrings. So it gives me that guilt and flares everything up. But then I'm reminded, you know, my other option is to be chained to a desk from, you know, not chained, but I'd be working a lot more hours consistently away from the home. So at least this gives me a little bit more flexibility. And on those days when the guilt is really ruining my mood or making me feel bad, I try to remind myself that this is better than some other options out there as well.
Yeah.
But I feel like at the end of the day, every single mom I know is making a decision that's best for them and their family. And so I feel like this guilt is all placed on us by ourselves. And if we could all just embrace each other and say, you know what, we're doing the best we can, and guess what, we're doing a really good job. No matter what the decision is, whether it's to stay home full time or to work 80 hours a week, we all should sort of embrace our differences, but also understand that we all have the same goal, which is to do what's best for our families.
Yeah.
Wow, I just talked too much. I'm sorry.
No, that's so true. Well, we all have kind of kid-centric businesses to a degree, like because your clothing is for kids and we make videos for moms. And so when sometimes I think, oh, someone's going to think I'm unprofessional because there's screaming in the background or a phone call or something, I try to remind myself, it's like, oh, but I'm in a kid-centric business. They should just understand. This makes, you richer. I can't remember. Some like famous filmmaker, I cannot remember who it is. Maybe you guys do. It's a director and he's a man. He said that he was more impressed by people that actors, crew that he was going to hire if they were parents and they were good, because he knew that they were juggling all these other things too. Like he knew that if somebody was a parent, they knew how to be efficient and multitask and focus. I thought that was pretty cool.
Definitely.
Was that Quentin Tarantino?
Definitely not Quentin Tarantino. Oh, I wish I could remember. Anyhow, another thing that happens when you start your own business is that you usually have to still have another source of income. Mm-hmm. So you may have your regular job, 9 to 5 or 8 to 6 or whatever, and then you have to do your new business stuff in your free hours. Do you struggle with like turning off one when you're working on the other, or balancing two?
I do. I definitely struggle figuring out how to allocate my time. I teach part-time as a college professor in New Jersey as well. And the reason I'm still doing that is because it's predictable, it's long-term. With starting a new business, you just don't know what's going to happen. So I like the predictability of sort of my day job.
Right.
But yes, it's very difficult. I teach economics and finance, so it's very difficult.
So you're still there.
Graphing, some microeconomic concepts on a whiteboard to talking about children's activewear.
Right.
But it's all a balance, and it's sort of like muscle memory. It's sort of like that first day you came home from the hospital with your child, and you were like, how am I ever going to do this? Yeah. And then all of a sudden, 6 months later, you're like, how did I not do this?
Right.
So that's kind of how balancing out the two has been for me.
Yeah. I'm hearing a weird noise, but that's just our computers, I guess. So, speaking of economics, another thing that comes to mind.
It sounds like feedback. Whoa.
That was a Halloween goof. That was a ghost. Spooky. Let's hope it doesn't happen again.
That was spooky.
Yeah. So I was saying, speaking of economics, there's also like, you have an added layer when you have children of often needing to hire a babysitter. And that is another cost in your startup business costs that some other people might not have. That's always tricky too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I had a babysitting exchange going on with a neighbor for a while, which was great. She was starting up a business. And so, like, for one day each week, I would take her child, and then one day she would take mine. And the kids thought, awesome, play date. But it got us some time that we didn't have to pay for a babysitter.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
I also find the other interesting thing about being a parent is that children tend to get ill at literally that exact moment when you're like, I can't have another thing.
The worst possible time.
Yeah.
Usually right before your entire family's coming in to stay with you for a national holiday or, some big dramatic work thing. So I struggle with that a lot is, of course when my children are sick, that becomes my immediate priority. Get them to the pediatrician, stay home with them, whatever. But, how do you balance that with stuff that absolutely have to get done from a work perspective at that moment?
Yeah. Valisa, you know a little about that right now.
I know a lot about that. Crying sick child 5 minutes before we went on air just now.
Yeah, that's tough. And then you feel like a jerk because you're the one at the pediatrician's office on your phone, like trying to work because people don't know that's where you are, or they don't care that's where you are.
Exactly.
And I'm like, oh, my poor kid.
Exactly. I actually showed up at one of my first meetings for Kickety Split. It was a a trunk show to sort of sell the product and get the word out there. And as I was like halfway into the meeting, I looked on my shoulder and I realized that I had some residual sick on me from a child that had, been sick. That I guess it was who knows how that all conspired and why I never noticed it before the meeting. But it's like mortifying when you're having that moment where you're like, I have throw up on me and I'm supposed to be launching a business.
Well, I think that we should all change this. We should make it like a badge of honor. Hi, I see Xander. Hi, buddy. We're almost finished, Xander. We should make it a badge. If you have child vomit on you at a meeting, that should demonstrate to the other professionals in the room how very much you are juggling, how great it is that you got there.
Exactly.
I think we need to somehow change it. So, hi Xander, how are you, buddy?
Say hi.
Hi.
Hi there.
Okay, well, I think we're almost done for this week. Went pretty quickly. If you want to enter the giveaway from Kickety,
the giveaway?
I wasn't.
Well, I think. How old is Xander?
Xander is 3, a little over 3.
Okay. I have an Alexander who's almost 3.5. Yeah. The good news is we're launching a boys line, hopefully in the next couple of months. So it's for Xander before too long.
That'll be great.
Are you excited?
Yeah, he's thrilled. So if you want to enter, there's a link right under this video, and it'll take you to a page on our website where you can see more pictures of Valisa's girls wearing the adorable outfits. Okay. And you can enter the giveaway.
He keeps wanting to press the Valisa button. He thinks that her picture. He keeps wanting to press Valisa. There she is.
Xander understands Google Hangout just about as much as we do, basically. It's a great mystery. All right, so everybody, thank you so much for watching. There's a Twitter party going on right now. We're going to get on and answer some questions.
Twitter party!
Yay! And make sure you enter the giveaway and check out KicketySplit.com. They're really, really adorable clothes. You're going to love them.
All made in America, supporting the local economy.
Bye.
Bye.